Oscars weekend is here. Let's get the scoop on the Best Picture nominees from the film industry insiders working here in Madison at Sundance 608 and 4-Star Video Heaven.
So what is your name?
Justin.
How long have you been working here at Sundance?
Here at Sundance since we opened.
My name is Delaney.
And how long have you worked here at Sundance?
I've also worked here for the 3 years it's been open.
What's your name?
Peter.
And how long have you been working here at 4-Star?
I've been an employee here for, I'd say, about 3.5 years.
Harry Charles. I've been working for about a year and a half. I got this job because I loved the selection. The clerks always seemed really cool and laid back. It seemed like a great place to work.
Okay, so it's the Oscars this weekend. For some reason this year there are 10 Best Picture nominees.
Yeah, they decided to expand it this year.
So I was just going to go down the list of these Best Picture nominees and get your take on each one of them, whether you've seen them or not.
Okay.
Just whatever comes to mind.
All right.
All right, here we go. The first one on the list is Avatar.
Avatar. Great movie. In terms of visual effects, not very good in terms of plot. I think they spent more money on all the high-tech end of it and just said, like, oh, we need a plot to go with this. Let's just throw Dances with Wolves in there or something like that.
They do a lot to subvert the kind of cliches that are normally in that style of movie. Like, a lot of the character interactions weren't cliche at all. The story was kind of, but, you know, I saw it for the effects, and it was definitely worth it. It was like a ride.
It was beautiful. It was really, really well done. I wasn't really impressed with the story, but visually it was just really cool.
Amazing. It'll come in second place. Groundbreaking visuals, but just wasn't there in the story, and also like the message behind, you know, like this, the white man culture coming in and showing the primitives how it's done, and the white guy ascends to be their leader. It's slightly insulting.
Okay, next on the list is The Blind Side.
Didn't get a chance to see that one.
I didn't hear enough good things to think that maybe it should be alongside some of the other movies this year.
I've heard that it's very good, but that's one that I did not make it out to see. So
I haven't seen it. Confusing why Sandra Bullock's in it to me, but personal opinion.
Okay, next on the list is District 9.
District 9 was awesome. Yeah, it's an awesome movie with it was such a flimsy premise to begin with, and it became out to be such an awesome like mockumentary at first, and then turning into an action film.
It's one of those movies that just because of when it got released, it's not going to get as much respect just because so much other good stuff was released that appeals to a wider audience.
I thought it was amazing. I really thought that it did what science fiction is supposed to do, where it puts you in a surreal world but addresses issues relating to the real world.
District 9 didn't care for it. I thought it was looked cheap. Plot holes, just didn't, it was like kind of all over the place with the kind of pace and tone it took.
Okay, next is An Education.
Education, I actually saw most of that movie, but I actually was getting a ride from someone, so I sat in the movie and watched a majority of it, and from what I saw, it was really good.
I don't normally like romance movies, and I thought it was a really engaging film. I thought the lead actress was very good. I think she's up for an Oscar.
I was really impressed. The costumes were amazing. The performances by both the lead actors and also the supporting cast were outstanding. A really good, consistent period piece.
I didn't miss that one. Looking forward to it.
Okay, the next is The Hurt Locker.
Hurt Locker's awesome. That's my pick of all of them. Is that movie is so intense. It's worth, I think it's like 2.5 hours, so I think it's worth sitting through that entire intense movie. There's like this big sniper scene in the movie, and it is probably the most cinematic, great stuff I've seen in a long time.
It came out a while ago, which usually isn't a good sign for movies. They tend to drift towards the movies that are released later, but I can see him getting lead actor over everyone else. So I think if they're going to give that movie an award, it's going to be lead actor.
That's another one I liked a lot more than I thought I was going to. I usually don't enjoy war movies that much, but I thought it did a good job of kind of distancing itself from taking sides. I thought it just kind of told the story of this group of guys without really taking one side or the other.
Loved it. Thought it was really good. I even went into it expecting kind of an independent, critical look at war, and for some reason I just didn't expect it to be a Hollywood action movie, but that's really what it was, and I still really liked it. It was completely not what I expected, but it still blew my socks off.
Next is Inglourious Basterds.
I love how Quentin Tarantino finally got like an Oscar nomination on a movie that's just so graphic and so interesting. But it's Quentin Tarantino. I really would be surprised if he won for Best Picture.
That's my favorite movie of the year. I'd really like to see it win because it did a lot right as a film. I thought there were a lot of interesting techniques that Tarantino used, and he's really refining his technique.
Ultraviolence and snappy script, and seeing Eli Roth in a supporting role was kind of neat. And yeah, I mean, it was just a fun movie. You know, it wasn't life-changing experience or anything like that, but I was thoroughly entertained start to finish.
The performances of the actors are really what sealed it for me. Like, the story was cool, but I wanted more Brad Pitt. I wanted more gore. Like, I really thought it was going to be a gore fest, and the stuff that was in there was intense, but there just needed to be more of it.
Precious, based on the novel Push by Sapphire. That's the whole title, I guess.
I like to think that that's the underdog of all these movies. If it's going to win, it's going to be like, you know, it never got a chance, and finally some people boasted it up, and then if it wins, it's going to be like Tyler Perry and Oprah Winfrey really saw that coming or something, you know.
That was a really intense movie, but I don't think it's going to win Best Direction. I mean, I felt like I was watching some people that I'd never seen before, like Mariah Carey. You don't even recognize her.
That one I'm looking forward to watching. I haven't seen it yet. I did see a trailer for it, and I thought it looked really, really good. So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing it, but I can't say too much about it because I haven't watched it yet.
I saw half of it. Liked it. Really, I'd be amazed if something so dark won Best Picture.
A Serious Man.
Serious Man. I love, but it's just one of those movies that, you know, it just kind of ended. And some people like try to explain the ending to me, but if you have to have the ending explained to you, you're kind of losing the core of the audience that are going to be watching and be like, I don't even understand what that movie's about.
And I gotta say, every shot in that movie was gorgeous. Every shot was perfect. But I think it's too weird to really win.
Did you feel the same way about the ending, that it was too up in the air?
No, I thought it was pretty clear.
I guess the story left me kind of wanting a little bit more. I mean, it's a very subdued, toned down, especially compared to the sort of things that they usually do, the kind of over-the-top dark comedies and just sort of bizarro stories that go every which way.
Pulling teeth. Visually, it was real nice. It's just a personal preference. I don't like to see movies that just terrible thing after terrible thing happens to the characters. I like a little bit of sunshine in my stories.
Yeah. Up. Not up in the air, but up.
Up. And you know, you really have to say something about a movie that in the first 15 minutes of it, you were so emotionally invested in the characters that you're crying.
And that movie really pulls you in the first 10, 15 minutes and then doesn't let you go from there.
I thought it was great. Also, really interesting choice for a kids movie. It starts out very dark and very depressing.
Charming and slightly terrifying. I felt it didn't really pull punches or talk down to kids, especially with that opening. It's very, very real to life, you know. People have pain, people lose people they love, and then life goes on.
Okay, well, finally, Up in the Air.
Up in the Air is my next pick after Hurt Locker. I love Clooney in that. It's a really good story.
You didn't know if you were supposed to take something serious, and I thought Clooney's performance was very just, you know, Clooney. He didn't play a character like he did in Burn After Reading.
Based on the trailers that I saw, I wasn't terribly interested in seeing it.
Up in the Air, I liked it, just didn't blow me away.
Was there a movie that you saw this year that wasn't on the list that you thought should have been?
Absolutely. Imaginarium of Dr. Parnassus, which did get a couple of nominations, but I felt like it really got kind of shortchanged. I mean, Terry Gilliam's been doing fantastic work forever. I mean, for as long as I've been watching movies, and I thought that when I went and saw that one in the theaters, it was everything that I was hoping it would be and more. It just blew me away.